Welcome back to the Gracefully Wild Soul podcast. Today, we're going to talk about just some reflections I'm having as we wrap up Leo season. So, kind of talking about life as performance or performative arts as we move through the world. And really, I think this is about how we show up in our heart, how we show up as leaders. So, let's drop right in. Welcome to the Gracefully Wild Soul podcast. I'm Kirsten, a mother and soul guide, and this is a space where your soul is witnessed and the frequency of your heart is felt. Together, we will have intimate conversations about the essence of life, the beauty of your soul's path, and our evolution as women and as mothers. Through channeled words, lived experiences, and the wisdom of nature's rhythms, the soul, and the sacred feminine, this is where the gracefully wild woman begins to rise. Well, I'm not going to lie, this Leo season has been intense. It's been a lot. And it's all needed. It's all for good reasons. We are about to finish up Leo season, but during this time, we have had a total solar eclipse in Leo. So that is also a new moon in Leo. And at that time, there was also several planets sitting in Leo. So that amplifies the energy that we're working with. On top of it being an eclipse, there is just a lot happening up in the sky. We had our nodal shift. So the south node moved into Leo. And just, Venus having been in Leo just before and all of the things that go with Leo. And Leos archetypally have this strong, I don't like the word royalty, but that is most often what's associated with Leo energy is this idea of royalty. And I think that we could use that example as having two sides of the coin, right? We have known royalty in a lot of ways to have impact in ways that don't think about the people, right? Decisions are coming from a place of ego. And so I think we can use this example to say that a Leo in maybe a state where they're coming from a lower vibrational state, they are coming from a place of ego. They're coming from a place to fluff themselves up. But if we look at the other side of royalty, we could see people that truly think about the person, the impact of the individual, and how decisions are made or how this royalty position can do good things. So we really do have these kind of both sides of the coin. And so ultimately, when we distill that all down, the true essence of a Leo is a heart leader, somebody that comes from the high heart, that truly leads by just showing up in a place of love. And that love ultimately has an impact of leadership. And so I really think that this is so, just for me, important and accurate when I think about motherhood, when I think about children, when I think about the impact that being a parent has on the greater world through our children. So that's my little rambling about Leo season and Leos. But I say all that because what's been happening in this Leo season, I think collectively, we've seen it on different levels. But also, at least in my life and maybe in your life, you've been seeing some of these themes, some of these things unfold, or maybe some of these reflections coming through in your journaling, where we're thinking about how we're showing up in the world. Are we showing up from that place of ego? Or are we showing up from that place of love? And where does our courage fit into all of that? Again, I don't know if I've referenced The Wizard of Oz before, but I think that we could absolutely dissect every character in The Wizard of Oz and break them down archetypally. So obviously, there's the lion. And literally, like, think about this, the lion is searching for courage, the heart center, how to connect and not be in a place of fear, right? That's the other kind of side of ego, is when we're keeping ourselves too small, we're in this place of fear. When we're puffing ourselves up and we're there for performance, just to basically fluff our own feathers, then we're coming from a place of ego. Heart lives in the middle. Courage lives in the middle. It lives in the difficult moments, but stepping forward regardless, with good intent for all. And so there was this moment this summer where this really resonated with me. And it wasn't me. It wasn't about me. It was about my oldest daughter. We were traveling through New Hampshire, and it's been a wild summer. We have been on the road for almost 2 months. It's been a whole experience on its own. And I think when we're through the summer, I'm going to drop in and discuss the highs and the lows, the do's and the don'ts. But ultimately, we were in New Hampshire and we decided to go to this local hotel to try to use the pool for the day. And we noticed when we walked in, there was a sign that said open mic night. And that was in like a couple nights from the time that we were there. And over the prior days, my older daughter and my younger daughter had been like just kind of playing around and singing and working on a song, which I wouldn't say is like out of the ordinary, but it's probably not the most standard thing that they do. So it was one of those things where like, oh, that's so cute. That's sweet. They're like writing this song, they're working on this song. So then the open mic night sign became visible and my daughter saw it and she's like, oh, well, maybe I'll try that. And I was like, what? So let me set the stage a little bit. My oldest daughter is just the sweetest girl, but she is generally pretty shy, out of her comfort zone. And so for her to like say that maybe I'll do open mic night was definitely a little bit of a head turner for me. And also just like, honestly, like just her having the thought of doing it, I thought was so brave. And especially for her stepping out of her comfort zone to do something that put herself in the limelight. That's the thing, is that she's always been resistant to putting herself in the limelight, like speaking in front of others or, just kind of having to do a presentation, whatever it is, or even just like raising her hand, knowing the answer. Like that has been something that she has worked through. Like she has built courage. She has taken steps of her bravery to the next level. So for her to like volunteer and be like, oh, maybe I'll do that, it's huge. So I was just proud of that moment of her like considering putting herself in front of strangers and performing something. So between that time and the day that the open mic night is set, her and my younger daughter go back and they keep working on this song, and like they wrote a song. And the irony of it, and I wish I had the words with me right now, but the irony of it was the song was about courage. Like it was about stepping forward. It was about shining your light and owning your authenticity. And so I actually hadn't even heard this song. Like, so they had been working on it for a few days, before this kind of popped up. And she wanted to share it with me before the open mic night. And so I had no idea that that was what the song was about in the first place. Like it is truly about having courage and stepping forward, even when you're uncomfortable. And so she shared it with me. And for her to even just share it with me, again, these are like steps for her to be ready, and step into this role or this, I don't know, this moment, knowing that it's for the reason that she is truly showing up for herself. She's not showing up just to get like an applause. She's not showing up to, check a box. She's showing up because she is creating something inside of her. She is channeling her voice, her energy out into the world. And so her sharing this song with me is part of that first step, like writing the song, right? Like that takes courage. That takes courage to sit and write something. Then to share it with someone, courage. Sharing it with someone that you love, sometimes that takes more courage than sharing it with strangers, because those are the people that we love. And what they think often lands differently than what strangers think. So it was this proud moment because this is something that she has struggled with in the past. And I think that's just a reflection of what we all struggle with in some form or fashion at some point. Even if you have been that person that's like in the performing arts, like quite literally, like you perform or you have to show up in your job and perform. You have had to put yourself out there in different ways. There's always a moment in life that we struggle showing up with our authentic voice. There is a moment that we struggle showing up with just our fullest light. And this has really been such a deep reminder in this Leo season, where we are meant to show up with courage. That means showing up with a bit of fear. Like she had fear over sharing her song. She had fear over performing, but she did it anyways. So she shared the song with me. And then there was, of course, this like back and forth, this him and hawing. I don't know if that's the right phrase. You know what I'm saying? She went back and forth, undecided about whether she was going to move forward with the open mic night. So the open mic night was in this, kind of restaurant bar in the hotel. So we decided as a family we were going to go and eat dinner there, regardless of, what happened. And we basically said, this is, totally up to you. We're here to support you. Do whatever you want. If this feels right, let's do it. If it doesn't, then you don't have to. It's just a choice. You get to decide. But we're going to go, we'll eat dinner and we'll just check it out. And then you can decide what you want to do. So we go to the restaurant and I had actually called beforehand, just double checking. I'm like, hey, my 9-year-old daughter is interested in singing. Is that okay? Is there like an age limit, et cetera? So we'd kind of like checked in. We kind of knew it was good to go if she wanted to do it. So we showed up, we sat down for dinner, we ate our dinner, and I checked in with kind of the gentleman that was like running the open mic night, this older gentleman, and they were back in this cute little performers room. So there was a couple people back there and they were strumming their guitars, like practicing. It was obviously people that are local to the community. And it's just a great opportunity for them to share what they've been working on and taking that next step forward to sharing it with other people. And so I introduced my daughter and I was like, she wants to perform and she's feeling a little nervous and kind of where would this work? Could she go first? And he was just so sweet. Like whenever she's ready, she can go. If she wants to go first and just kind of get it out of the way, then that's great. So we sat down, we finished up dinner, and it was kind of that time because it was like a start time that they had for the open mic night. And during that time, she changed her mind like 5,000 times, right? Like, I don't want to do it. I'm scared. I'm nervous, etc. Like all the things that we tell ourselves inside. Like, I can't show up in my light because someone is going to say it's not good enough. I can't speak up in this moment because it'll make other people uncomfortable. I can't take up space because there's no space for me to take, or I'm not good enough. Like all of that hurtful self-talk that we each have in our mind. I mean, guilty, 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 guilty. I went through a ton of that over the past couple months, and particularly in this Leo season. These conversations are really important. They're not something to be dismissed. It's information. It's information for where we stand and the decision that we're making about where we are showing up in our truth and in our authenticity. And so for my daughter, when the time came around to perform, we just encouraged her, make a decision that feels good to you. We're here for you. I will stand up on stage with you. I will hold your hand. I'll do whatever you want, to support you, to know that we support you, whatever it is, whatever it looks like. But taking that next step into the limelight, showing up with courage, does require that foundation. It does require not only that foundation, in our external world, like there's some sort of place to show up. You have to decide which place that is. But that foundation inside, that we're willing to be uncomfortable, and that was part of our conversation. We're willing to be uncomfortable in the moment because ultimately we know we are growing. Growth happens in the discomfort. It doesn't happen in the moments where we're, cozy and wrapped up in a blanket and just, in our little bubble. It's not happening there. It's happening in the discomfort. And when we overthink, we underperform our potential. And so this was the conversation we were having with her. Like, don't overthink it. Just get up there and do it. You got this. You're going to be amazing. And ultimately, she did. She got up on the stage. She had a little moment where she was a little soft. And so she started again. And she sung her song in front of strangers in this space that felt deeply uncomfortable to her. One, for everybody to be looking at her. Two, for her to share from her voice. Three, to share her actual singing. Four, to have written something that was personal, something that was deep inside of her. All of those things. She was willing to push through the discomfort, knowing that this was important. And so I think that when I reflect on this moment from the summer, in this Leo season where we are being called so deeply to greater heart leadership, we're being called to be more courageous. We're being called to think about the greater good of people, of ourselves, of society. I think we can all take this little bit of medicine and remember to stop overthinking every little detail, every little thing. Because who decides what failure is? Is courage failure? Is bravery failure? I think those are questions that we all have to ask ourselves right now. If putting ourselves out there in whatever capacity it might be is deemed as failure, we have a systemic problem with seeing our lives. Our lives are full of those moments. Life is not about performing. Life is about living. And we have to step out of our comfort zone in order to truly be alive, to allow that life force to rise up and express itself. And this was some of the messaging that I personally received during the rising of the Sirius star, which everybody knows as the Lionsgate portal, which really is a combination of a variety of things. But ultimately, what this is about, what that moment is about, is rising from the darkness and reappearing. There are going to be moments where we are spending our time in the darkness, not because we are refraining from shining our light, but because we are willing to spend the time to work through the discomfort in order to rise. There is growth in the descent. And when you rise up, you get to choose to shine your light in the way that you're meant to. You are given a choice every single day, every single moment to shine your light. And there can be a laundry list of reasons why you don't want to, why you quote unquote, shouldn't do something. But ultimately, you will be the decider. You will be the roadblock, or you will be the river. So I'm wrapping up this season right now, summer Leo season, sitting in all those little reflections of how maybe I have held myself back, how I have decided to stay in a place of fear over courage or bravery, and how really ultimately it's been on me. I've been the deciding factor. It's not someone else's fault. It's not that I couldn't do this or that, or this person caused this, or there's something happening inside, or my old story, or my past life, or my, astrology. Look, I can give you all the reasons why there is resistance in this place. And you probably have it too, for different reasons. But at the end of the day, there is a choice to be made, and you get to choose. And so as we move out of Leo season, this is something that I hope that you're taking with you. These lessons of courage, of bravery, of leadership in your truth and in your heart that is truly leading the way for other people. All right, friends, that's some of my summer reflections, my ramblings over Leo season. And I hope that this podcast episode finds you well, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Thank you, love, for being here. May you walk forward guided by the wild wisdom of your soul and the truth of your heart. To find me beyond the podcast, you can join my newsletter at soulbabe.com for continual updates on offerings and other teachings, or subscribe to the Gracefully Wild Soul Substack. Until next time.